Good morning, folks. Welcome to another Breakfast with Loui, where we have breakfast and we talk about stuff. Today's breakfast has already been consumed. It's all gone. It was stuff. Cereal. It is what it is. Sometimes that's all we eat, folks. 1 second. Oh, it's hot. Oh, hot. It's not hot anymore. I had to do it. Anyway, folks, since breakfast has been consumed, and I'm going to turn my camera on so I can see who's around me, if anybody comes around, just in case. You never know. Sticky stuff on the doors could happen. You know. Things happen. But breakfast, let me hold my cup because it's breakfast with Loui. How's my hair? My hair okay? I'm lucky on my hair. I just put a little bit of water on my hair to fix it, but I don't know. My makeup crew didn't show up today, folks. The top doesn't look that good. Spellbringer, where's my makeup crew? They're on vacation. They're on vacation, folks. Seems like every time I take a vacation, they take a vacation. But it is what it is. Last time we left off somewhere. I don't remember exactly. But this world is going nuts. You know, I was just looking at my phone, and you know, the news is always crazy. Always something new going on. There's never a dull moment, and it seems like nowadays it's constantly. We are constantly being bombarded with something different. You know, a new virus outbreak here. This is happening over here. That is happening over there. And in the end times, that's what's going to happen. It's wars are going to multiply, and all that stuff is going to happen. We know it's going to happen. It's still shocking seeing it happening. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but it could happen yesterday. I don't know. I don't know the day or the hour. Speaking of the day or the hour, I don't know the day or the hour. Where was I seeing it? It was on YouTube. There's this ministry, so you can go there and look for yourself. So let me look it up real quick, and then I can tell you, and then I can kind of tell you what I heard. I had never heard that before. There's a couple things that I've learned new recently. You're always learning something new, folks. Whenever the moment you say, I know everything, I don't need to learn anything else, then you're doomed. You are doomed, really. Like with my work, I'm good at what I do, but the moment I say I don't need anyone's advice, I'm good at what I do, that's the moment I'm not learning anything new. Because every day you can learn something new. Even when you think you know everything, you can learn something new. So let me see if I find them here. I don't want to look too much, but I see if I can find them real quick. Just give me a minute, folks. I'm not going to cut this off. Spielberg, you don't have to edit anything, because we're going to try to find. Oh, okay, it's Lion and Lamb Ministries. I'll take a screenshot, and maybe at the right moment. Okay, that didn't work out. Okay. Alright, I'll take a screenshot and I'll put it, no, well, not I, Spielberger, put it in the video. So it's called Lion and Lamb Ministries. So it's Jewish believers in the Messiah. So he's obviously Jewish, and he's a believer in Jesus, Yeshua, the Messiah. And he was mentioning about about nobody knows the day or the hour. You know, in the Gospels, Jesus says that nobody knows the day or the hour of my return, not even I, only the Father in heaven. So at that moment, Yeshua was speaking from a human perspective, since he was both human and God at the same time. But in that moment, he put aside his godlyhood. He put that aside, and he chose not to know in his human form. That's why he said nobody knows except the Father in heaven. But he was saying that what Jesus was actually saying, he wasn't actually saying that nobody knew exactly when. There's a particular Jewish feast, and all the Jewish feasts are related to the Messiah. So I forgot the Jewish feast, but you can go back if you want to do it. You go on their YouTube channel and look for that video. I don't remember which video it was. It might be titled something like that. And he was saying that when Jesus comes back the second time, it's going to be at a particular time, he said, because it's going to be at this particular feast. This feast represents his second coming. So it's going to be at that particular time. And so we still don't know the exact moment. Because, he was saying, I remember a little bit more. Because he was saying that feast is, because the Jewish calendar goes by lunar months. We have a calendar that goes by the solar month. The Jewish calendar is by the moon months, moon phases. So nobody knows exactly when, because that feast falls on a particular day on a Jewish lunar calendar. And because it's a lunar calendar, it could be a day later, it could be a day earlier, it could be a few hours later, a few hours earlier. So nobody knows exactly the day or the hour, but they know an approximation of when, because it's supposedly falling on that Jewish feast. So that's interesting. What's not interesting is that I forgot the name of the feast. I don't remember. It's very interesting. Another thing I learned, I'm passing it on to you, and I think it was also from him, was or maybe it was somebody else. It could have been somebody else. It was in respect to the eye of the needle. So Jesus said that it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to make it to heaven. Now, I'm not saying a rich man cannot make it to heaven. Neither did Jesus, because you can if your heart is not in the money that you have. But you see a lot of these millionaires and billionaires and quadrillionaires and gillionaires, and their faith and hope is in their money. Money that they're not going to take with them, not one penny when they die. But they put all their hope and like Soros, all his hope in his money. And the moment his breath leaves his lungs, his body, that's it. He's not taking one penny with him. Nobody will. So if your faith is in your money, then you're doomed. But if your faith is not in your money, then money is not necessarily evil by itself. So what this person was saying, and I haven't checked out. So if you want to check it out yourself, you get a Hebrew concordance and dictionary, and you get a Greek concordance and dictionary. So I haven't checked it out. I meant to check it out, and then this just came to my mind, and I'm going to talk about it, even though I didn't check it out. So what he said was, the word for camel in Greek and the word for rope, this thick rope, well, I don't know if there was the same thickness, but it was thick rope used for in the boating industry. So the fishermen, they had thick ropes. Like if you go by a marina, you see ropes. They're not as thick because now they're constructed of different synthetic materials. They're very strong. But if you go by one of these container ships, the ropes are very, very big. So I'm sure back then the ropes were very, substantial to hold the boat to shore. Or if you throw an anchor overboard, I'm sure they didn't have chains, so they had probably some kind of rope that they would throw overboard. So anyway, he was saying that the word for camel and the word for rope in Greek is almost identical, except for one letter in the middle. So if you remove that letter, it goes from camel to rope, since the words are very similar. Obviously in English, rope, camel, very different. But if rope in English was camelo, it's almost like in Portuguese, camel. So with an E after the M, well, there's a camel. Okay, that doesn't work. That didn't work. Okay, put something in there. Put whatever word or letter you want to put after the M, and that makes it rope, right? And you take that letter out, and it makes it camel. Suppose that there was a word like that in English for rope. So there's a word like that in supposedly Greek. I haven't checked it out. So you remove that letter, it becomes rope. So most likely at some point, some scribe forgot to add that letter. And by forgetting that, the word became camel instead of rope. So rope, it makes sense because you have a needle with a little eye, and you have a little thread that goes through the needle, but now you have a bigger thread, a big rope, and you try to squeeze that big rope through that eye of the needle, and it doesn't fit. So it makes sense. It makes sense that it could be rope. Also, a camel, it doesn't distract from the word. I mean, it can still make sense. It always made sense to me that it's hard. Imagine a camel trying to fit through the little eye of a needle. There's also a saying that says that some scholars believe that when they said eye of the needle, they meant the door at the gate. Every city had different gates around the city, and every gate had a door for people to walk through instead of opening the whole gate. And it was very hard for the camel to go through that because it was low. People had to, crouch down and go in, whatever. So it was hard for the camel. So that, some scholars say it was that. I've read that, and I've learned that too in the past. Either way, I mean, it makes sense to me. It's hard for something big to go through something small. So, and that's about it, folks. I'm going to finish my coffee, and hope you learned something new. That's all I got time for today, and I will see you next time. Hot. I know it's not hot.